Steph here, and today we have got Mr. Ferg,
Yo.
Mr. Dead,
Hello.
Mr. Ramu,
Hello.
and Mr. Spindles as well today.
Good evening, all.
And we're going to be mainly looking at E3. So it's going to be a bit of a shambles, and quite a crazy long one, because we've got quite a lot to talk about. But we're probably going to skim through some of the sort of less interesting announcements. So should we start on Microsoft conference?
Good a place as any to start.
Right. I think I've watched a bit of it, but I think there are more knowledgeable people here than me. So did anyone see Recore?
I've seen bits of it.
Yeah, I'm intrigued by that. It looks interesting, but I do like kind of my action RPG sort of games, and it looks like it'll have some interesting mechanics for, well, I guess actiony platformy kind of stuff going on.
It's got a bit of an air of the start of episode 7 with Ray being a scavenger, that sort of feel to it. But it seems to be a game where you have minions that are giant robots. But I think you can only have one at a time, and you have to swap effectively the power core between the different types of robot.
Oh.
And it's
Pick them up along the way?
I think so, from the way the story
I think so,
appears to
from
unfold.
the earlier trailers. Yeah, it looked like that.
But there's certain robots have certain abilities. There's a spider droid that appears to be
kind of like a grappling hook.
Yeah.
Or
you can use it to climb up the side of buildings, and it's also supposed to be good at evasion and sneaking around.
So is it a cross between Pokemon and a mech game? That's an
No.
RPG?
No, it's...
I wouldn't say so, because you've only got like 4 or 5 robots that you swap in and swap out.
Ah.
They're more like, say, the Batman Arkham series, where you've got different weapons for doing different things. You've got a grappling hook thing. You've got a thing that hacks into computers.
Yeah.
You've got something that...
kind of like the Lost Vikings. One had a shield, one had a sword, one had a helmet.
Yeah.
Employ right robot here.
Yeah, basically.
Gotcha.
If you're going to get attacked by a load of things, employ the tank. Put him down. Which appears to be a large, vaguely gorilla-like robot.
And they all seem to be colour-coded as well.
Yeah. They'll all have their own personalities and everything.
Kind of like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
Okay, got you.
It's got a lot of hype.
It's been
It looks interesting.
around for a while.
Okay, should we move on?
Yeah.
I think a big one, I mean, this has got an enormous amount of hype, is Scalebound.
Yeah, that looks awesome fun.
I know it's had a few delays getting
From the
up
video
to this
I
point.
saw- Yeah, the video I saw, I kept on seeing the dragons like trampling all over the player. He's not getting injured, but you can't see anything for the walloping great big dragon bouncing around everywhere, blowing crap up, and you can't go. I was hitting the guy, but there's a dragon on both of us, and I can't tell if he's dead and if I'm actually still standing. Yeah, but maybe it's alpha. I'm assuming it's already late alpha. I hope. When's Scalebound released?
Ooh, I'm not sure.
I mean, have they actually released a date for it yet, or
I
is
think
we
it's
kinda
next
like
year.
in the wind for that?
I think it's to be
2017.
determined 2017.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
But it does look interesting. Multiplayer co-op, you and your pet dragon wailing on all kinds of stuff. That looks great fun.
Is there a single-player variant?
Yes, it's like single player, but from what I heard, you can just hop in and out of other people's games.
A bit like The Division.
Yeah,
Yeah,
drop
cool.
in, drop out co-op.
Okay. I guess it's just my main thing, that the worst thing about multiplayer games on the internet is other players.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but it's that virtual couch co-op idea. Play with your mates.
Fair enough.
Can cope with that.
It's true, actually. I'm tempted to just do a little Let's Play of League of Legends with Rami, just to show the text chat of a League of Legends game.
Yeah, that community is. They get very het up about everything.
Well,
Is that
sorry,
because they're all 5?
Probably.
I think it is
Makes
that. Yeah.
On the subject of multiplayer games, the next one's Sea of Thieves.
Oh yeah, this looks
Massively
Yeah.
multiplayer
Awesome
pirate
fun.
game.
At the moment pirates get involved, I'm looking for a tricorn and a musket.
Yarr!
I want to be behind that cannon. As soon as pirates are involved in something, I become a little weak-willed.
Yeah.
Yes, that's why I carried on playing Black Flag long after I finished the main quest.
was
That's
such
the
a good-
thing.
That
It-
that is the only good Assassin's Creed game in my mind that's come out because
Well,
you had pirate ships.
Sea
Yeah.
of Thieves, it's Ubisoft, I believe, isn't it?
Alright, so, okay, might well
I
be
think-
using the same engine then.
I'm pretty sure everyone said
No,
that
it's
they're
not. It's not
Is
Ubisoft.
it not?
It's definitely Microsoft because it's the guys from Rare.
No, that was
Oh.
it. It was Rare. That was the one.
Yeah.
That was it.
What they've done is
Yeah,
they've it looks very much like Assassin's Creed, but very cartoony and rare. You
Yeah.
can tell it. You can tell it's definitely got a
Rarefied.
rare look to the game. But to me, it felt like all of the bits of Assassin's Creed that the players really, really enjoyed. The sea battles, the running around finding treasure and stuff like that. Not necessarily following the main story of Assassin's
Whatever
Creed.
was going on.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed all the side stuff as well. I enjoyed playing the storyline for Black Flag, but the side stuff was really great. The sea battles were brilliant.
I just wanted to take over the whole, map by map and mission around in my ship. It was really good.
But it looks like they've taken that part of Assassin's Creed Black Flag and turned it into a multiplayer game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It looks immense fun.
Can I just say that the video with the people playing it, that they'd got these guys to come in and play it, like I did find that real cheeseburger. They were like
It was.
really over the top and like,
It's like,
oh, my
oh,
God,
this is
this
the
is
best
amazing,
game
man."
ever.
But it
But-
looks good.
It does
The
look
thing with that
fun.
video is that they looked like they were having fun,
Yeah.
Yeah.
even though their ships were
Even
getting
with the
sunk.
cheese
Yeah.
factor.
Yes, it looked like they were having fun,
Yeah. it
which is, in my opinion, is the main reason pick up a video
Play
game.
games. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
If you're going to pick it up and it's just going to wind you up and you're going to get angry and aggressive with people about it, why are you playing?
Do something else.
Speaking of games that get me aggressive, Gears of War 4.
Nice
Really?
segue.
Yeah.
Are you getting aggressive that it's being made, or?
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. The dumbest thing is about Gears of War is I've always enjoyed the Horde mode. It's
Oh,
a
love
little
the Horde
co-op
mode.
exercise. It's a little bit of fun, but ordinarily I pick a game because of its single player, not because of its multiplayer, because that's where you're going to find all the writing, the actual story, world building, and why I should give a damn about the game. But the Horde was the real kind of win for me, because the story just sucks. I can't give a damn about guys with no necks running around with chainsaws. I've got bloody Warhammer 40k for that. Come on. Sorry. Yeah, that's me done.
Ferg steps down off his soapbox.
Yeah, sorry.
It's coming out October 11th, actually, 2016.
I'm intrigued to see what it's like because I played 1, 2, and 3, and I actually did finish all the story, but I only ever played them co-op with another mate, and just had a great laugh playing through them couch co-op. So it was awesome fun because I miss that from games. It's showing my age, I guess, but I do really miss that co-op, couch co-op experience.
I don't think it's an age thing. I think I think if you look at how successful the Wii was, maybe not the Wii U, but I think people still want it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There
I
are companies that all their products are couch co-op. There's no other way to play them at the moment.
Yeah, which I'm enjoying that resurgence. That's all good.
Although
Was,
it does also kind of suck because sometimes these particular games, you'd like to play them with your friends as well, and your friends
Yeah,
you might
but don't live
geographically
next door
might
to
not,
you.
yeah, it might not be geographically feasible.
I want to be able to do both at the same time. All games should have that.
Yeah, I miss the days of sort of playing. Well, I mean, you can still play Mario Kart, but like GoldenEye with some friends and grab a few beers and.
Flappers only in landmines, a classic GoldenEye.
Awesome.
I don't know. There's still Bomberman out there.
I used to love the proximity mines one where you'd play on the you know the one where you start in the toilets, and there was like a little cheat to like climb up into the like air ducts, and I'd like totally proximity mine the toilets and then hide in the air ducts and wait for someone to die.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah,
Great.
brilliant.
Forza Horizon 3. Anyone interested in it or
Driving games, snore.
yeah.
It's going to be.
I'm a bit of that opinion.
It's going to be Forza Horizon 2 with more cars.
Yeah.
It looks nice.
Yeah,
They all do, but they're just dull as dishwater.
Unless, of course, it's Burnout.
Burnout. Burnout. Will give...
Oh, Wipeout. That's not really cars. I
Yeah.
suppose.
No,
We haven't
Burnout.
seen it before.
Yeah.
Burnout
Burnout was
was
the best.
brilliant, and I think they've recently done effectively Burnout Golf.
Oh, right.
I can't remember what it's called, but
Dangerous Golf or
Dangerous
something
Golf.
like that?
That's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Get in.
but it looks like Burnout with a golf ball. You get
What about
to do
Armageddon?
effectively. You get
Oh, that's an old one.
Classic.
Like probably one of the only few car driving games I like was stuff like Micro Machines.
Oh, on the
Micro
PC?
machines.
Yeah.
That came
Hard
out, that
driving.
was really good. That's so
Hard
old
driving, oh
school.
god, yeah. I remember that. I tried playing that on an actual sit-in arcade thing and
Yeah.
just messed the whole thing up. And that was the point where I swore to myself I probably shouldn't be driving. Oh shit, I've like killed tons of innocent civilians in a computer game. I'd probably best not do it in reality.
Yeah, but you've driven me around now and managed not to kill too many civilians that time. So.
I know, I was kind of careful. There was only one or two that I didn't aim for.
So, one of the bigger news is, one of the bigger pieces of news from Microsoft was Minecraft.
Tasty.
They are working on crossplay so that people on different formats can all play together. At the moment, it's PC, iOS, and Android is coming first, I think.
With Xbox.
I'm not sure if Xbox is being tied into it just
It's
yet.
for the Minecraft.
Yeah.
From what I'd read.
That was another big thing with the Gears of War 4, actually. They made a big song and dance about the fact that it was going to be cross-play between Xbox and
PC.
Xbox One and Windows 10. So if you bought the game digitally for one or the other, you automatically get it for the other one.
Now that's
no
interesting.
extra
Cross-platform licensing's a totally different game.
So
it's
that was kind of a big deal, I thought.
It's similar to what PlayStation did with some of the PlayStation 3 titles. If you bought it on PlayStation 3, you got a copy for
automatically got
Vita.
it on 4 or
you
Vita.
got it for the Vita. I think it may have applied to 4 in some cases.
I think some
Do you know
games
what,
it allowed you to upgrade it on the next console when you got it, but I think it was a case of upgrading rather than still being able to use the original. I think. Something along those lines.
There are a few games I can't play on my PS4 that are on both that I had on PS3.
So
right,
Bit disappointing.
That announcement from Microsoft was quite a big announcement.
That's going to be a big deal in the future, I think.
I'm intrigued. I mean, does that mean that players on Xbox, PC, iOS, and Android will effectively all be able to come together and play on my Minecraft server, or is it going to be hosted?
Yeah, that's the point.
All right, okay. Because I never thought they would actually go that far, because I thought they were trying to get away from people actually installing the server themselves and using their kind of licensed environments.
The Realm system. The Realm system is an alternative for people who don't have the facilities to host.
Yeah, I just, well, I guess this is just my cynicism about Microsoft, is that they're trying to basically stop anyone doing stuff themselves and get everyone to pay for it through the nose.
No,
Yeah.
Realms existed before Microsoft took over.
Yeah. Okay, well,
it's
I'll just stay and be noisily cynical about it all until I see it working.
the original plan for Realms was that it was giving people the facility to have their own small servers without having to effectively set up a small server, because you'll know that the costs of that aren't always feasible.
Well, I think
it's a lot of hassle if you don't know what you're doing.
Yes.
I think the last time I was playing, the last realm that was being hired through the realm system was about $8.99 a month.
They've dropped the price. It's about £4. It's under a £5.
It's now under a $5. Still, $5 a month. Ooh, you better be playing some.
I don't know. There's a long rant that I've had before about the kind of monthly subscription fees for stuff and how people find value in them or not.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I mean, some things I'm kind of prepared to do it for. Some things I'm not. Like, I'm happy to pay for Netflix subscription. I'm happy to pay for PlayStation Now, and a bunch of other stuff because I get the usage out of it. But there's a whole bunch of other stuff out there that I just can't see getting the use out of, and I think this is probably one of them.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty much down to the person who's using it.
Yeah.
If you're an avid Minecraft fan who's pouring every minute of your time into it, then it's probably feasible.
Well worth it.
Yeah, it's worth it. But it's a matter of just balancing it out. Are you going to be playing it enough to warrant playing that kind of subscription? That's all it'll come down to.
Yeah, I guess it's just the open source nerd in me just goes, well, screw it. What I'll do is I'll spin up a virtual machine and just install it on myself, and I did.
Yay!
Moving on, the next one was We Happy Few.
Yeah.
Bioshock meets A Clockwork Orange.
It looks really
Right.
intriguing. It just looks kind of weird and creepy. I think that'll make for just like a really interesting story.
It just looks very weird. The trailer
right
for
up
it
my
was
street.
slightly disturbing.
Set in 1964, isn't it? And it's
Yeah.
It's definitely looked very Bioshock. Do we know who's making it? It's not happen to be the developers of Bioshock.
I don't know off the top of my head.
Propulsion Games. It's someone different.
Right.
I think they're a brand new studio.
This
effectively.
is their first title.
Ooh.
Because I noticed
yeah,
they had a
looks-
Kickstarter for it.
It does look like it's going to have a very creepy vibe to it. So.
Yeah, very twisted. A bunch of people at a lovely birthday party, all whacking away on a piñata until it explodes, and the one guy in the room that hasn't taken his joy pill sees what they're actually whacking, which is like this big dead mutant rat thing, and blood and viscera flying everywhere.
Oh, it's
Looks
almost got
really twisted. Looks
a bit of a
awesome
Brave
fun.
New World vibe.
Yes, definitely.
Oh wow! I mean, I haven't seen much on it, to be honest. So that's wow. Okay, it's interesting.
But the bit I've seen, it does look like it will be creepy and weird, and I just think it'll make for a good story. Playing through it.
I wonder if you can switch then between. Well, actually, I suppose you'd have to take the pill, but if you could switch between reality and what's the like, I don't know, fake reality that people.
Yeah.
Wow.
The drug addled. Look, everything's fine. But yeah, the main guy in it right at the start, he's there redacting newsprint, and everyone has to feel happy all the time and joy.
Oh, it's 1984 in there as well then, so they're just taking a mix of that
all
and
the
Brave New
worst
World.
dystopic kind of
Nice.
societies, put them all in a blender and tipped it out, and ta-da! As I say, it looks real interesting.
In the creepiest way possible.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
If you like that kind of thing.
It's coming out next month. actually, 26th of July.
Wow. Not long to wait for Drug-Addled Mayhem then.
At least on Steam. I'm not sure about Xbox or PlayStation, but actually, it's probably it'll probably be the same because is it Microsoft?
Yeah.
Yes.
Or...
Yeah.
It's part of the Microsoft the announcement.
Yeah.
Other things that they had on the Gwent from The Witcher 3, which from what I've been told by people because I've not played Witcher 3 yet, it's really good. People really like the Gwent game.
Yeah, I mean, I watched some video on it.
I watched the video on it with you, didn't I, Steph?
Yeah, we both. I mean, we were a bit disappointed because we were expecting Cyberpunk 2077, and we waited like 15 minutes for it to come on. But
and then it was Gwent.
Yeah.
This is the CD Projekt Red thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yes. Okay. Which immediately sparks my interest.
It looks like
It looks fun.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a lot of depth to it, all the strategy, and yeah.
If you like Magic and that kind of thing, I mean, it is a bit different to Magic, but I think it's
going to appeal to the same sort of market.
Probably,
and Magic
and
or
fans of Witcher 3.
Fans of Witcher 3.
Mm.
Apparently, the reason they did it, they were saying on the trailer, was because so many of the fans of Witcher 3 turned around and gone, we want a Gwent game. Just Gwent. We really want it. And they've gone, all right, well, here it is.
Well, that actually inspires me because I really am looking forward to whatever it is they're going to do with Cyberpunk 2077.
Can't wait for that.
I'm trying not to get my hopes up too much. I don't know if I could survive the disappointment.
Yeah, I'm remaining cautiously optimistic at this stage.
But the good news is it's CD Projekt Red. Mike Pondsmith is on board, and they have said the golden line that will never get old for me. It'll be done when it's done. No release dates. We're not making you any promises. When it's finished, we'll release it. And for me, that's gold. That's everything I want. And Mike Pondsmith has backed it all the way. So I'm, cautiously optimistic.
Can I just ask a question? So, Cyberpunk 2077, as someone who's perhaps not the most knowledgeable in certain areas of nerdism, is that a D&D type game? Or
well, Cyberpunk 2020 was the tabletop role-playing game.
Right, brilliant.
And that's awesome. It's literally my favourite role-playing game of all time.
It's unbeaten in its fluidity, in the mechanic. It's just a beautiful system.
I can lift up my head now and look at the rule book and the various source books because they are still on my shelf.
Yeah, one of the favourite games I've played was, in fact, the Cyberpunk campaign you ran for us, Si. Yeah. Absolutely brilliant.
I love Cyberpunk in all ways, shapes and forms. It's one of my favourite things ever. So that's why I kind of I get optimistic, but I kind of always want to hold back a little bit before throwing my whole heart and soul into the game in case it turns out to be Shadowrun, you know.
Oh. Which is unfair given that the Shadowrun Returns computer game and the other ones that they've got. There's like 3-4 pieces now. The 3 main storylines, they're actually really well written. The strategy game element and character design it's lovely.
I'm just Gibsonian in my Cyberpunk. I don't need goblins and magic in my Cyberpunk. Thank you.
I absolutely agree. I don't need it either. But the games themselves were well made.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, anyone looking forward to Tekken 7?
No.
I mean, I think it's a good fighter game. Is this the first time it's come out on Xbox?
I think so.
I'm pretty sure it's always been a PlayStation exclusive in the past.
Oh yeah.
So I think it was quite big news for some people. Oh, I think it came out actually on PlayStation a year ago. So I don't really year and 3 months ago.
No, Tekken 7 hasn't hit the PlayStation yet.
Oh, it says March 18th, 2015.
There's no PS4 Tekken game at the moment that I'm aware of.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. I don't know when it's being released, but
anyway, fighting game,
that
it'll be good.
There are
'cause it's
fans of
fighting.
yes, there are fans of fighting games that are eagerly waiting for it to come out. I know that for a fact.
It'll be button mashing, combo twiddling genius as always. But
yeah, it'll be.
yeah.
I've heard there's possibility that it might be possibly a VR title as well.
Ah.
So I'm not quite sure what's
Why?
going on.
That might be a bit kind of weird.
Yeah.
Please don't kick me in the face anymore. I can't take it. Every time you do, I flip my head back. It's got a really bad crick in my neck now. I don't want to play anymore.
It's just a rumor that I'd heard, but I'm not 100% sure on that at the moment. So
I mean, I think it's good for Microsoft, like Xbox players. It's probably good news for those that like fighting games. I mean, I don't know if it's fighting games are that big at the moment, to be honest. But I think
I'm not sure there have been since like early 2000s.
there's still a Street Fighter
I'm sure
tournament.
There's still a big kind of
There's a big
niche
Street Fighter.
for
There's a lot of people still playing fighting games. At the end of the day, it's one of those. It's a niche.
They're still making them, so that's the proof.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
Injustice.
Suppose
Well, I
that's
know
true.
we're kind of skipping ahead a bit here, but Injustice 2's coming out.
Yeah,
And
Gods
I
Among
played
Us, yeah.
Injustice 1, and okay, it was okay. It was a really pretty and kind of fun game.
Yeah. I played it because it was free. It was one of the games. It was one of the monthly games they gave away with PSN subscriptions.
Yeah.
So I played it. I played it for about 20 minutes and went, "Yeah, that's enough of that."
Yeah, it's a fighting game. Hooray!
then went back to playing something better.
You played it less than the time it took to download it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
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 Well, I did exactly the same with Destiny. I installed Destiny, played that for about an hour, and then just went, "Yeah, that ain't for me." Took it, traded it in, and got Assassin's Creed Black Flag instead.
Yeah, I was tempted to buy Destiny, and then I just made sure to watch the reviews. I was like, so there's no story in this game.
Yeah, I played it and I was
Yeah.
so disappointed with it, and I was like, back to the shop with you, Destiny.
No, I really enjoyed the multiplayer up until they released the first DLC that had 15 minutes extra content, and it was like, no. I'm so done with this game.
As I've said previously this evening, the problem with MMOs and online is other players.
Yep.
Yeah.
Unless, I mean, if you ever played Star Wars Galaxy, they actually made an MMO where everyone was reliant on each other, and it created probably the nicest online community I've ever seen in a game.
That's good. So it's the complete
Yeah.
antithesis of EVE Online, then.
Yes,
On that
Eve.
note, I've got 3 words for you: Dead Rising 4.
Yes.
The Christmas
Come
edition.
on. If for no other reason, I want to find out what new gear I can use to just chop up some zombies.
Zombie
Yeah.
death. Zombie death does not get old.
No, it
And
doesn't.
Isn't it going to be co-op this time?
Oh, please say yes.
I think there may be a co-op option. The
I heard a rumor
storyline,
there was co-op.
the storyline goes back to Frank,
Yeah.
so we're getting a
Dead Rising 4, zombies in a co-op.
Yeah. That's what it is. It's dead short. But,
Now
oh,
in
no,
Britain.
Marge!
It appears to
Marge, the
have a
zombies
very
are here.
Christmassy theme.
Yeah.
Dawn of the Dead in a fair trade shopping mall.
But yeah,
Would you like to buy some
I've
toffee?
seen there's candy cane launchers and all sorts of very
All kinds of Christmassy fun.
yes. It does look like zombie mashing mayhem.
Let's face it, none of us get bored of.
Yeah, no.
No.
Actually,
Actually,
all fans of sending the undead back to their eternal rest in lots of different pieces.
Scattered
many-
liberally across the horizon.
Well, actually, the next game is State of Decay 2. Oh, I don't know about you guys. Did any of you guys play State of Decay 1?
No, it's not what I've heard
I
of.
played a bit. And
I've heard of it.
It was good fun, and I could see the potential. But again,
I
because I was
just-
on my own,
Mm.
I couldn't be bothered to invest enough time in it. But now, multiplayer co-op. Ooh.
Yeah. I've got to confess, I killed State of Decay. I loved it. The actual survivors mechanic, the
Yeah.
actual building of your bases, just making things work, picking stuff up, dealing with the the scourge that's out there and actually progressing through the story was just so well paced. You could work at whatever level you wanted, and there were lovely little side quests that were good and risky to get to. It was a wonderful game. Now, if this is going to be if this is the co-op I'm hoping for, you'll find me on there without doubt.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, loved it. I can't wait to see how they're going to improve on the survivors mechanic itself. It was just lovely. It gave a real role-playing game feel to it. So yes, special moves and everything. Get in.
Next up, Halo Wars 2. Real-time strategy Halo.
Yeah.
I played a fair bit of Halo Wars, and that was good fun.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed the first one. It kind of appealed to the Command and Conquer side of me.
Yeah, definitely.
The new one has an interesting storyline, which looks like, again, us versus aliens.
Yeah.
Godforsaken planet. But they've got new troop types, new vehicles. There was a beta they announced during E3 that ran until the 20th, so for us it's on till tomorrow. I had a little go at that, and got thoroughly thrashed.
Yeah, I looked at that, was going to have a go, and then I saw it was multiplayer only, and I thought, no.
Yeah,
I just want to try and see what it's like, get the hang of it, so if you'd even given me one mission, that'd be great, but I don't want to be going up against people that have been playing it since the start of the beta, thanks.
Yeah, most of the thing with beta tests is that they're stress testing the multiplayer capacities. They don't very often put up the storyline because they don't want to ruin the storyline too much.
Exactly. Even if there'd been a tutorial or something, but...
There was a brief video at the beginning, but if you're getting thrown into it's a 4-player co-op game that you get thrown into for the test.
Wow.
If you get stuck with a noob like me, who's only just literally, oh look, it's my first go.
Oh, what's going on?
I mean, I remembered the basics from the first game, but the other guys, they rolled in with tanks, and it's like, hang on a minute, how do I get the tanks again?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm probably going to thoroughly enjoy playing the solo player mission because it'll give me a chance to grow and evolve into the troop types. But yeah, kind of, there you go. There's the full toolkit. Off you go. Okay, it's a little confusing, but I'm sure I'm going to enjoy it.
Yeah,
practice makes perfect.
Yes.
And of course, all of this is likely to be available on the Xbox One S.
Yes, the shiny smaller box of Doom.
Oh.
Yeah.
Which, if rumor has it, they put the power supply on the inside of the case.
I
Really?
don't think that's a good idea myself, but
no, it really isn't.
I'm just going to add
That
to
would be
the
a
heat
very
build
bad
up.
idea if they've done it.
Yeah,
Unless they've
surprised at that.
counteracted it, but I'm sure they know what they're doing. They're all.
How have they
engineers.
made it smaller
Why are
and
you
then
so
put
sure
the
of
power
that?
pack inside?
Have a cool
Maybe it's
system,
just smaller.
possibly.
I'm just a layman. I don't think the power supply on the inside is a good idea, but obviously for all those people out there that are worried about aesthetics, why do I have to have this box that I can't really hide very easily? Why can't it all just be built in? I can see it from their point of view, but
Is it worth
They
the
might be-
trade-off though? I mean, if you're going to fork out a load more money for it. Oh, is it just a smaller one?
it's smaller.
Maybe I'm getting confused between that and Project
But it's-
Scorpio.
Hasn't it got a 2 terabit drive though? The S.
It's got a bigger hard drive. It's a smaller unit. The power supply is integral.
And you can stand it vertically.
You can stand an Xbox One vertically.
All right.
Wouldn't advise it personally.
No.
Because
No.
your disc will be spinning on its edge. I'd rather it was pulled down by gravity across the whole disc.
Yes, it's 40% smaller apparently than the
Yes.
Xbone.
So, and it's white as well. I'm not a big fan of white consoles.
No.
They
It kind
show
of
up all the
work
dirt.
in my living room because my whole living room is either black or white, so it kind of works. At the moment, the PlayStation just black and lurks in the darkness.
Isn't that what all PlayStations do?
But then again, it being white is never going to convince me to buy a Microsoft console. So hey.
Yeah, no, I'm perfectly happy with my first generation black console. It's a big box, but I don't care.
Yeah, it works.
It works.
That'll do.
And there were some good titles on it.
So the other big announcement is Project Scorpio. The look to the future.
Yeah, shiny super tech.
Ferg knows the specs for this far better than I do.
Yeah, we were just saying it was 8 cores, 6 teraflops. I mean, it's the 6 teraflops that's basically making everybody's teeth quiver on end, because it's like, wow, that's not even gigahertz anymore, is it? And people going, yes, which then asks the diligent question, so how much is this going to be? I mean, are you going to be buying this console for little 5-year-old Timmy? Are you? That's going to be a pricey bit of kit.
I mean, who is... I think the only issue I see with it, I mean, I don't... Is it not going to be... I mean, I think PlayStation's the same problem, but I mean, they're great ideas and everything, but is it only really going to be bought by a minority of people, and are they actually going to make a profit? Because it's going to cost an absolute bomb.
It depends on production costs.
Yeah.
The other thing that a lot of people
shave off.
The other thing that a lot of people might be worried about is that it will be effectively the 4th Xbox. It's going to be part of the Xbox One family and fully compatible with Xbox One.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be like the equivalent of having a basic laptop that you can play games on, and your friend having a much, sort of like a professional gaming laptop. But it's also looking at being their VR platform as well.
Yeah, so if you're going to seriously adopt VR, you're probably going to want the hardware to do it justice. You're going to want to buy the, potentially super expensive console, but if you're forking out for the really expensive VR kit, you've probably got the money.
Yeah.
Maybe the way they're
VR,
looking
I mean,
at
the
it.
VR, like, because it's like, is it something like 300 quid for a VR headset or something?
PlayStation VR the headset's going to be $350.
Right. I mean, the thing is, you could see someone getting maybe a VR headset. They'll save up for it and get it, but then also getting the console. I mean, as he's saying, getting the console as well. I could maybe see some gamers getting the VR headset who,
because they're desperate for VR.
Yeah, and like I think that's a bigger pull than would get the VR. Well, obviously it would be the VR headset and Project Scorpio, but I do think it's not a very good business move for both
For either of them.
Xbox and PlayStation. I think it's a bit stupid, because if they're all going to play the same games on both consoles, there's the previous ones. I mean, I understand with the VR, but you just kind of think, a lot of people really going to upgrade? I don't know.
Ideally, it sounds silly, but it all has a little bit of an element of Ready Player One to it, where you can get different types of VR rigs.
Yeah.
In the book, it seems that everything seems to be heading towards if everything can be played on everything, and everyone can play with each other, it's just going to come down to what hardware you decide to run it on.
Yeah.
Who's putting out the nicest hardware?
The same way to building a desktop PC for gaming. You've got a large selection of different parts that you can assemble.
I think what's going to happen, though, I mean, it's essentially the only difference between consoles, in the next sort of 15 years, if consoles are still even in existence, it will all be down to exclusives, even more so than it's ever been.
I hope not.
It's got to be. How do you differentiate a PlayStation 4 and an Xbox One if they're multi-platform?
Yeah.
And they both do VR or whatever. I mean, the only difference is going to be what games they have on it.
It'll be aimed towards particular economic classes. It'll be down to demographics in the end.
Yeah.
You know, what class of people are going to be buying it? How much do you earn? Okay, you can have one of those ones. And maybe this is Microsoft sort of predicting that. You know, who do
Possibly,
we
but then they're saying that it's going to be costing at least $100 more than the Neo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, they're looking at the marketing and thinking, right, who do we
Right.
want to really be catering to? Do we want to be going, like, selling a horde of boxes to the low-end market, or do we want to actually open up, like, the premium things, when people are going to be thinking, right, I've got enough money for one of these, so I probably have enough money for my own IT technician to install it. So these are the kind of people they might be thinking, okay, well, if they buy it, we've sold it. Brilliant. And why not have a premium market? It gives every single company a reason to achieve it. I'm pretty certain that's something Richard Branson would probably say. You know, just aim for the sky and see how much money we can get out of it on the way up. But yeah,
I don't think they have to
it's
sell.
a bit early days to see where the market's pointing in this case.
Don't
Yeah.
they have to
Just
sell
looks
quite a lot of
pretty now.
consoles though to kind of make back the money they spent on development?
More than likely, it sounds like it's all cutting
There-
edge stuff. That
there
they're
will
Well,
be
putting in
inevitably,
costs.
inevitably they always make a loss on the consoles,
Yeah.
and it's the games that subsidise the consoles.
Well,
But-
if that's the case, though, you look at the indie PC market, Steam especially, the number of VR games that are appearing there at the moment,
Same with PlayStation.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
Tons of them, and if they're not in early access, they're already done. They're so basic, but they're out there. The indie market is literally developing towards higher end and possibly the next generation of AAA VR titles.
Oh yeah, I mean, I played one at EGX last year on the HTC Vive. It was essentially like a reversed version of Nightmare. So you put on the helmet and then you're the only one who can see the VR, and it's like it was as complicated as move forward, turn 90 degrees, move forward, turn 90 degrees. That was as complex as the movement was, but it looked great.
Yeah.
And
I
it's
mean-
just a kind of escape the dungeon type thing.
And I mean, I've had a go on the Oculus Rift arcade club down in Bury,
Yeah.
and they had actually the game you played was a simulation of their arcade where you go and play all the video games. I actually managed to walk over, pick up a Game Boy, and play a game on the Game Boy within the game. And that, for the nerd in me, was like, this is amazing. The
Many
graphics
levels of
weren't
Inception.
brilliant, but it's like, oh, I'm playing the game within the game.
Didn't Shenmue do that as well? Years and years ago.
Yeah. You could go and play the arcade games and stuff. That always appeals to me.
I think my view with VR is it is really good, and I'm sure it is probably going to be the next big thing. But I think it's going to take 5 years until people can afford them until the prices go down.
Easily.
Yeah, and until it stops being so elitist.
It has to start
Which means
somewhere.
I'll get one next month, yeah.
Boo!
Well played. Well
So-
played. Sir.
The other thing that Microsoft mentioned is that the Xbox Live platform is going to be improved. They're going to introduce clubs so that people of a like mind can get together. And they're also making a move towards what appears to me to be an attempt at starting off an esports movement.
Ah.
They're going to have regular leagues across Xbox
Oh, no,
Live.
that's interesting.
EA have already apparently they've already said that they're going to allow FIFA to be part of it as well. So that satisfies all the football people.
So will Microsoft have control of the streaming of it and
Yeah.
funding
I
the
don't think so.
tournaments and all that, or not?
I don't know. I think it's like local friendly leagues, but to me it seems like an attempt to start in that direction towards
God.
an
The
esports
cynical
tournament.
mega corporation comment
Jesus.
here.
Yes.
We've
Some
already
kind
covered
of
Cyberpunk
esports.
2077.
Yeah.
Some kind of proper esports movement. I know that
Wow.
there's regular competitions for League of Legends and StarCraft and stuff like that. Sort of more of the real-time strategies and the sort of the MOBA market.
Yeah, I mean, esports is a massive thing at MCM now. They have the whole arena for it for the whole weekend, so it is a massive thing now.
When actually it's being picked up, I think in America is on one of the big TV channels.
Right.
They're going to be doing League, I think, and have I can't remember what channel it was now, but it's quite big. It is getting to a point where it's going to be on mainstream.
It's Fox, don't worry, they'll mess it up and cancel it after one season.
Oh.
Oh no.
So that's pretty much Microsoft covered.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
So should we go on to PlayStation?
PlayStation next.
So
Sony's conference.
yeah. So I guess Spider-Man.
Oh, so gutted.
Yep.
Absolutely gutted.
Speaking of exclusives.
Yeah. Need to own a PS4.
Yeah. Not being funny, but there they are, sitting in the wake of Captain America: Civil War, with the recent release of the new Spider-Man, and they're going to cut their audience for the game
In half.
less than. I mean, the PC. I mean, you can have Amazing Spider-Man 2 on PC. Why not this? If they really want to snub Microsoft so bad, do they have to deny the PC players?
Well,
It looks really, really good.
I think it's a
It
good
looks
strategy.
so shiny.
Because I think
It better be.
I think they have to, because if they are all going cross-platform, again, it's the exclusives. That's your selling
They're
point.
what differentiate. As
Yeah.
I say,
And
they're
Sony
making
own
me
the
want
rights
to
to
buy a
Spider-Man.
PS4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the reason, is Sony own the rights to the character.
Yeah. So they can say what they like.
Yeah,
They
absolutely.
can
They can
still
do whatever
make
the hell they like
computer
with it.
games. They just can't make any more movies.
Well, I mean, the thing is that they could, but they'd all be shit.
What's that?
As long as the last two the last two Amazing Spider-Man movies have anything to go by, then they certainly weren't doing the franchise any favors.
No.
I think they're better off letting Spider-Man stay where he is
Go.
with
Oh,
Marvel.
absolutely, yeah. He's better off being part of the
Definitely.
Marvel universe, definitely. But I think as far as the games go, they own the exclusive rights to the character, so why the hell not?
Yeah.
I also think, I do think the good thing about it, yeah, if we sort of go past the issue of it being exclusive, I think the good thing about it is that it's not going to be based on a movie. It's just going to be its own
It's a
thing, right?
standalone story.
Spider-Man game.
It's a
So-
standalone story later in his career.
So I think that's really good because it's not going to be trying to kind of get ideas off a film and then it's all kind of really
And shoehorn them in
badly shoved together. Yeah.
I'd be interested in finding out who actually writes it then. I'm wondering if it'll be one of the actual Marvel comic book writers. If it is, that would give it some...
Leverage.
A lot of
Give it some
credibility.
I'd say that's unlikely, then.
Yeah.
You never know, Might be freelancer. But then,
So-
no.
It looks good though, but there's not much more on it really than just a trailer. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
it
trailer
did
looks
look
really
shiny.
good. The
I
animation in the
actually
background
really like the new suit
stunning.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, new suit doesn't look that bad.
I quite liked it, but I'm a huge Spider-Man 2099 fan, so it reminded me of that costume a little bit.
It for me, it'll take a bit of getting used to. I'm not used to. Doesn't quite look right to me at the moment. But
Yeah, I like the new look though.
it looks a little strange in my mind, but
Weren't the
I'm sure it'll settle in. But
weren't the previous games a bit average? What
I
heard?
enjoyed them. I really enjoyed them, and they had
Do you enjoy them?
uh,
They're good. I haven't tried them.
the narrator for the game was his name's escaping me. Ash from Evil Dead.
Bruce Campbell.
Thank you.
Bruce Campbell.
All right.
Don't
Yeah.
completely blanked on his name for a second.
Yeah.
But
One of them was absolutely superb and got the web swinging and stuff just right, I thought, and I can't remember which of the titles
That
it
one's
was.
Spider-Man 2 by any chance?
It
either
might
2
be
or 3.
Spider-Man 2, I think, yeah.
Spider-Man
it was
2
just
stands
so
out in my
good.
mind.
If it's a
Yeah.
game of flying between buildings and doing cool stuff that you're after, then play Attack on Titan. It's amazing.
Oh, yes, that's the kind of thing I like. So that
that at
that would
E3?
be awesome.
I don't know whether... Yeah, it was at E3 because I was talking to the developers.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they've.
So jealous.
Yeah,
It's on all
years after you
platforms
mentioned
as
it.
They
well.
were supposed to be doing some kind of big announcement about it, so I didn't actually see it, so I'm going to look that up while we're talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It appears that it's going to be on most platforms as well.
No,
Now,
but
the
I've loved the
next-
anime series, so I really want to play that.
The next one is Death Stranding, which has just been announced by Kojima Productions at the Sony press
Yeah,
conference.
it's Hideo Kojima.
Yeah.
I saw the trailer for it.
What the
and-
fuck?
Yeah,
It looks so weird.
so you got
It's-
Norman Reedus on the beach, naked, with a
Clutching
baby.
Yeah.
with
What the hell?
handcuffs.
Yeah,
that
and
look
then
futuristic.
footprints. The baby disappears and
Yeah.
little black footprints leading
Yeah,
off into the distance.
Very
and
creepy.
dead fish.
Lots
Yeah,
of dead
It's
fish.
just very, very weird. I have no idea what to make of that game at all.
I'm quite hopeful because I hated Metal Gear 5 because they did weird stuff with the story and didn't really have a story. But I actually think that's because
He was
Konami-
probably distracted.
Well, I think it's two things. I think Kojima asks for a lot of money and spends a hell of a lot of money as a developer, too much money, and I think that's why they clamped down on him. And at the same time, Konami's pretty bloody awful in general. I mean, I don't know if you've heard about the way it was treating its staff.
No.
Oh, it was doing stuff like developers that they weren't happy with. They'd make them become like a cleaner and stuff like that.
Oh god.
For a while as punishment. And they did really weird. They're really dodgy, and they've actually sort of moved into pachinko machines or whatever they're called,
Oh right, yeah.
and they're not really making games anymore. But yeah, I mean, anyway, Kojima sort of being in his own independent studio finally and doing what he loves best is great because he's
It's
not.
got to be a good thing.
Yeah, and I think he was forced to keep doing Metal Gear, even though they were generally quite. He wanted to do something different, so.
One to watch, I reckon, that one.
Yes, it'd be nice to know a little bit more than Norman Reedus on the beach with a baby.
Yeah, I mean that isn't really the.
That
Selling
hasn't
point.
sold. That hasn't sold to me at all. Now I can imagine there may be a few Walking Dead fans that might get a little bit freaky about it, but sorry, that's doing nothing for me.
I don't think it was supposed. I think that was specifically intended for Sony to say, look, we've got Kojima,
Yeah,
which is a big deal, and
We've
they are
also got-
working on something.
one of some people's favourite actors as well,
Yeah.
working together.
And also the thing is with I mean that his company's only been going for the last 8, something like 7 or 8 months. So I don't think they've even that isn't even in-game footage. That's more
No,
like a
it's just an
hypothetical.
FMV. Look what
Yeah.
weird stuff's going on in our game.
So it isn't really much of a. It's more. Kojima's
a
got
tease.
history of he's got a history of teasing as well and doing weird stuff and yeah he's.
Is
very
he like the
cryptic.
Japanese Peter Molyneux?
No. He often things that he says they're lived up to,
Right.
but he's more like he'll
Ferg.
play games with fans, so he'll do weird stuff like he'll I don't know, I'm trying to think what he's done. He created a fake studio that announced a game that was actually his game, and it used Moby Dick references. That was the name of the studio actually, but it had all these Moby Dick references
Oh,
that linked
wicked.
into Metal Gear 5, and I think he did an interview with his face bandaged, which related to the main character, and he's really crazy. Like, so I think it's just the beginning of kind of a massive sort of crazy
Hype
cryptic-
campaign.
Yeah.
Hmm. Speaking of hype, Resident Evil 7.
Looks really good for a Resident Evil game, actually.
No,
It
I
looks
I
like
haven't
Silent
looked
Hill.
at that because I feel like they peaked at Resident Evil 4. Everything seemed
Yeah.
to fall
did.
into place for that, and it was just such a good game to play. Absolutely amazing.
I stopped at Resident Evil 5 for that very reason. It
Yeah,
wasn't as good
it's
as
like,
4.
how are they going to top this now?
Yeah.
They've broke it now.
Yeah,
The thing is, the trailer, the trailer was really Silent Hill. It wasn't.
Ah,
It didn't look like a Resident Evil game. It looked like Silent Hill in the way that it functioned.
hmm.
I
Now
don't.
that's really interesting.
Yeah, it's quite a change from what you would expect. But I mean, I don't really know where it's going. But
And
yeah,
I noticed it had the subtitle Biohazard, because isn't that what the Resident Evil games are known as in Japan?
yeah.
So that's interesting.
Maybe trying to just revamp or well, I don't know. Maybe not revamp, but
Revitalize.
yeah.
Breathe life into it again. Hey, if it's as good as 4, it'll get my vote.
Days Gone. Don't think the media were that interested in this game. Apparently they didn't cover it that much, but the public were really into it. It's a zombie game. They played it twice at the conference. I mean, from looking at it, it had a very what's it called? You know, the classic zombie game on PlayStation.
House
Last
of the Dead.
Us.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it had a really Last of Us feel.
Oh, right, yeah.
And you're like a biker, and I think your girlfriend's died or something, and it's about, I don't know, zombies, and you come in terms with it, probably. But the
Just trying
interesting
to survive.
Coming to terms with your girlfriend becoming a zombie. Nice.
Yeah, maybe.
Zombie dating.
No kissing on a first date.
But the really interesting thing about the Days Gone thing that I found out of it, because I wasn't that interested in the game, was that there's a rumor, because Red Dead Redemption 2 was seriously hyped and talked about as it's most probably going to be at E3, and it didn't turn up. And in the PlayStation conference, they had a Days Gone sort of trailer sort of midway through, and then at the end they did this whole Days Gone sort of playthrough, which seemed a bit odd because they hadn't done that with anything else. And the rumor is that Red Dead Redemption 2 is going to be announced in that segment. However, it was cancelled as it was a trailer that had a mass shooting in it, and sort of the day before, or very close to that, was the Orlando shooting. So that's why apparently
Likely pulled for that reason, yeah.
Yeah.
Mark of respect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair.
So I mean that that could be something interesting waiting in the wings to appear.
Yeah, I'd be very excited to see Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah,
I know quite a lot of people are.
that'll definitely be cross-platform though, I'm sure.
It'll be multiple platform, definitely.
Yeah, sure.
Cross-platform. We're all still waiting to find out what exactly is going on.
Yeah.
Next up is Horizon Zero Dawn.
Dear God, I want to play this game.
So, very much Far Cry Primal with dinosaurs. Robot dinosaurs.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's basically that AIs have kind of taken over the world, and then they've gone feral and basically created these cyber beasts out of themselves. So they've just like picked up mangled bits of old technology and turned themselves into these weird rampaging AI wildebeest type things. And then it's all about tribes of humans that live under the earth, and then kind of send out hunters to take out the herds of AI beasts. It looks awesome.
That sounds wicked fun.
Yeah, man, I totally will play the shit out of this game.
It's a really interesting concept because it is that kind of. It's got this futuristic idea with like robo dinosaurs, but then at the same time, it feels like it's set in caveman times.
Yeah, yep.
Brilliant.
Really interesting kind of. Yeah.
I'm massively looking forward to it.
Is that just going to be a single-player campaign, or
I
will
think
you
it
be
is.
able
Yeah,
to co-op with your friends?
I think it's a single-player campaign, but I mean, undoubtedly, I'm sure they will have some kind of multiplayer element possible in it.
Who's developing the game?
It's
good question.
Sony, isn't it? I think
It's,
Sony
I think
game.
it's an exclusive.
Yeah.
It's not going to be on
Right.
Xbox.
Yep.
Kind of sucks.
Yeah. Steph,
So
I
who's
think I'm
winning
just
the
going to have to
exclusive?
move into your
Looks
house.
for all of you.
I mean, who is winning the exclusive war? Because I mean,
Me,
Uh,
PlayStation, because
I
most of the
reckon
ones that are
PlayStation.
exclusive on Xbox, I don't want to play.
that's
Yeah.
true. I mean, I'm not too fussed about the Xbox exclusives. I mean, they do have some that a lot of people are interested in, like Recore, Scalebound, and the other one, Halo War.
Halo
Wars 2.
Wars.
But again, yeah. The next one's actually quite interesting. I don't know if you
Again, another one I'm massively looking
Oh.
forward to
you
because
heard
I
about it? Yeah.
love
The
Quantic Dream.
trailers for this looked amazing.
Yeah, so seriously, anything when Quantic Dream say we're making a new game, I close my eyes and say, take my money.
And that's literally, I'm gonna sit and play this for 20 hours
Yeah.
in a row.
Hell yeah, however long it takes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks cool.
It
Really?
looks amazing.
Basically,
I've loved every single game they've made. They are a games company that, in my opinion, can do no wrong.
Yeah, they did Heavy Rain, didn't they?
They did.
They
They did
did.
Heavy Rain. They did Beyond Two Souls.
Fahrenheit.
Played like
Fahrenheit,
yeah.
the Indigo
Love
Prophecy.
Fahrenheit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all
absolutely
those
brilliant.
games I love to bits.
Speaking of which, nice little segue again. Fahrenheit is being remastered and coming to PS4 in July.
Ooh, interesting, because I've got the remastered
Ah.
version on Steam.
Same.
Yeah.
So it's pretty
Gutted.
good.
Oh, I love it. I've started replaying it a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I want to give it another go. I might wait for it to come out on PS4 because I quite like to just sit and vegetate and play it.
Yeah. I'd have to come up from Skyrim for air.
Speaking
So-
of which,
That
are
was a
you
big
thinking of
announcement.
doing a let's play of it or not? Cause I
Of what,
might.
Skyrim?
No, of Fahrenheit.
Fahrenheit? Oh, I could do.
I just wondering because I was thinking of doing one.
I'll fight you for it.
Pistols at dawn. So,
No, it's fine, mate. You carry on.
Cool.
so next up was Last Guardian.
This is another game like Final Fantasy 15 that has been delayed for about 10 years.
Yeah. Looks
looks
really
good.
shiny.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
it's from like the developers of Ico and
Ooh, Shadow of the Colossus.
Shadow of the
Yes.
Colossus. that's
Awesome.
the other
Again,
one.
another games
No,
company
yeah.
that can do no wrong, in my opinion.
yeah.
I love both of those games.
Yeah, definitely. So that'll be great fun again to play through and just see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, I'm quite interested in it. I mean, I think they've spent a lot of time on because it's like this little guy, like little kid, like finds this big. I suppose it must be one of these Last Guardians that's been, the name, but it's this big creature that you can interact with. And I think you can maybe jump on him and ride him. I don't know, all sorts of weird
Yeah, and
stuff,
traverse
but-
the world with him.
Yeah, so it looks quite unique in its mechanics, perhaps.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So yeah, and then another car game, Gran Turismo Sport, which again, like Forza, looks nice and probably
Has
car
shiny
people will
cars.
like it.
You
Yeah.
like cars? You'll love Turismo Sport. Brilliant.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then there's the PlayStation VR announcements, isn't there?
Yeah, there was a couple. That was
There's Batman.
Batman, yeah.
Yeah, and Star Wars Battlefront. Those were our
The
two,
X-Wing
weren't
VR.
Yeah.
Saw the Star Wars one.
they?
Oh,
Dead, you cut out.
put out dead.
Hello.
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 The X-Wing VR mission trailer looks awesome because you're in an X-Wing following another X-Wing following Tantive 4.
Oh, nice.
It looks really. But what I'm wondering, it says VR missions. Do you think it's just going to be a free
The one free mission.
thing for people to play, or do you think it'll be an actual game?
I think it's the start of a whole VR movement on the Star Wars side.
I think it'll be a DLC.
Yeah, they
where
might
you
just
just buy
keep
one.
releasing each mission you pay for.
Possibly, we don't know yet. There's kind of not really been much of a
Early days.
chatter about it.
They're just training for Poe Dameron's replacement. That's all it is.
No, it's for when the aliens invade. They're getting us all trained up, ready.
Oh, like as in the Marder. The
Yeah, indeed.
Ready Player One sequel, not.
Yeah.
So, Batman VR looked like Batman VR. It was basically Batman, but you are Batman.
Oh, the other thing that was VR as well. I mean, we'll talk about it in a bit more depth maybe later because it was part of the Square Enix conference. Conference. But
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 15 apparently has VR. One of the characters you can play as and VR with him. It looks interesting, but I mean, again, it's difficult to really get too excited about VR if you
Not going to be.
you and most
Well,
people
considering
You're not
it's
gonna be playing anytime
350
soon.
quid for the headset.
Yeah.
And more if you want it on, if you want an Oculus or a Vive.
Yeah, even more for them.
Yeah.
I think it's good in a way that they're pushing it so much because at least people will work on it quite a lot and they'll get a lot of things ready before the general public start buying it as an actual product. At least it will be, there'll be some the more wealthy people will play it and it'll improve with an audience, I suppose. Which is good.
Time will tell.
Yeah.
Which, yeah.
So,
Nintendo.
The Nintendo conference.
So I mean, I think everyone's sort of maybe briefly seen something on it, but it was short. Well, it wasn't short, but it didn't have much happening really. It was all about Zelda, pretty much.
Which looks so shiny.
Looks amazing.
Yeah. Really want the Wii U to come down in price now so I can get a Wii U and Zelda and just hammer it for a few days solid. Looks awesome.
It is, because to be honest, if you got a Wii U, you could get the new Zelda, I think you could get Skyward Sword, because it's backwards compatible, you can get the HD remaster of
Most of the Zelda games have been
Ported
remastered.
over.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of them have been remastered or they've been ported over, so the Wii U actually might be quite good at a budget price. And you've also got all the couch co-op stuff, like
Yeah.
This is a big thing for
Mario
Nintendo.
Kart.
What was that, Dad?
Couch co-op is a big part of Nintendo.
Yeah, and I wonder whether maybe the NX might be good in a sense, because it might boost Wii U profits.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
Once the
I'm
Wii U
certainly
comes
thinking
down.
about getting a Wii U if it goes down in price, because I'd really like to get one and be able to play those games with friends. I just haven't been able to justify it really.
Another new title.
Yeah,
Paper Mario Color Splash.
Has anyone actually checked it out? I mean, I didn't really.
I didn't check that out.
I
only looked at Zelda, to be honest.
I completely missed that one, to be honest. But it's Paper Mario, and I really like the first Paper Marios.
The other Paper Mario games are awesome fun.
I think it's the usual stuff, isn't it? Really, anything Nintendo tends to make is pretty damn good.
Yeah.
They just are unable to make everything, and there's not really much of a third-party market for Nintendo, unfortunately.
No.
I suppose because of the graphics. 3DS, they mentioned Pokemon Sun and Moon. I watched a bit on that. It looks like a Pokemon game. I'm sure it plays and
like a Pokemon game.
Like every other Pokemon game. I'm sure it's fun. Like, Pokemon's great, but it's a Pokemon game, so there wasn't anything from watching it that seemed particularly
revolutionary.
Revolutionary. It's a Pokemon game.
It's a Pokemon game. It's designed for a very particular kind of person. Somebody who likes to capture small animals and imprison them in small places and then make them fight for them at a later date for their entertainment.
So, rednecks and Pokemon fans.
Precisely.
Actually,
Sorry.
yeah, if you look at
Pokemon's wrong.
if you think about it, you know,
it's
like,
wrong.
you know, psychopaths that they'll a lot of psychopaths would
Start
like,
out torturing small
torture an animal.
animals.
Yeah.
Like maybe it's a game that suits everyone's inner psychopath. You know, we can like trap these animals and force them to fight to the death.
In which case, given the sales of Pokemon towards children, I am fucking terrified for you.
Yeah. In another 10
those
years,
kids are
the world's
murdering
going to
away
be
like
just
nobody's
populated by
business.
psychopaths.
Yeah. just keep an eye on them, right? Sorry. I
Planet
hate
populated by
Pokemon with a
OCD
passion.
psychopaths.
Mm.
Moving
Gotta
on.
catch it. Gotta catch them
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
Move on, please.
Monster Hunter Generations.
Again with the monster hunting.
Yeah, did anyone? I mean,
What did they do?
it's really difficult with the Nintendo conference. I mean, I think out of the priorities of things to watch, it came the lowest because just not they. I mean, the main game was Zelda. I didn't see anything on this. I don't know if anyone else
No,
did.
I didn't. But it's
It's-
Monster Hunter, so
It will be popular.
it'll
Yeah.
be
Yeah,
good.
the thing is Nintendo has its audience, and it is announcing stuff to its audience, and there are
Yeah.
no surprises.
Yeah. And isn't Yokai Watch also because they've announced Yokai Watch 2? Isn't that also a Pokemon type game?
Yes, it's.
But he has a watch.
Yeah, yeah. It's.
So the
You
three
can
main.
You can see the words "blatant rip-off" floating above its case.
So
but
essentially
yes,
the three,
yes, it's Pokemon basically.
Is there a
essentially the
way
three main 3DS titles are
Pokemon.
Pokemon and two Pokemon type
Clones.
games.
Yeah.
Ah, just.
Is there a Greenpeace for computer games?
Save
Out
the
of
monsters.
curiosity, or am I kind of harping towards Anonymous here? Just curious.
All Furry Defense League.
Yeah. No.
You just imagine on the news like Anonymous hacks Nintendo's store.
Releases all the Pokemon.
Releasing all the
Cruelty to
Pokemon
animals.
into the internet.
Be free, my
Unfortunately,
pretties.
Anonymous, if you're listening, please be aware, I will buy you a pint.
if you free all of the Pokemon that Nintendo have
Pokemon,
trapped.
I'll buy you a pint. I swear to God, I will buy you a pint.
Desktops across the planet fill up with little Pokemon bouncing around, nibbling on words.
we can't get rid of them.
It'll be like back in the 90s with that annoying sheep.
Oh God, yeah.
Stop it. Stop it.
Moving swiftly on, Ubisoft.
Yes.
Oh no, wait a minute. NX.
Ah, yes, the NX.
Is it at E3 they didn't really mention anything about it or a release
No.
date, but it was mentioned in a recent earnings call that it would be March 2017. So it's going to be coming up against, probably. I'm not sure when PS Neo and thingy
Scorpio
Project
are
Scorpio
out.
are coming out.
Scorpio is Christmas 2017.
but- Okay.
So it's about, well, it's not Christmas, it's the Christmas after.
I mean, I don't know. I think the NX. I wonder whether the NX will be affected by the other two console upgrades.
I
They
don't
are
think it
just
will in the
upgrades.
same way that the Wii wasn't affected by the release of the PS3 and the Xbox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
just
its
it's
own
just
market.
its
as I
own
say,
separate
it has
thing.
its own core audience. So it's I think Nintendo are always safe because they have their core audience.
Yeah.
As long as they are kept
as-
happy.
As long as there are kids in the world, Nintendo will continue to make games where they can abuse small furry creatures.
Is there no end to this horror?
No.
We don't know anything about the NX, though, do we? At all?
Not a lot.
No.
There's all rumours. There's
All
rumours about the
guesswork.
cartridge. It's going
Oh,
back to being
yes.
cartridge based.
I've heard it's going to be powered by small animals,
Yeah.
and you'll
That's
have to buy
Pikachu
them
on
and
That's
feed
why
them
we've been
into
catching
its
them all.
drive.
But I mean,
We
you know,
shouldn't.
I hope they make a better decision on the controller, because I think that I understand what they were doing previously with the last controller, but I think it was made it all a bit more expensive than it
Needed
had
to
More
be.
overly complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they could have easily have done what PlayStation have done with the PSP, the PS Vita, where you can
Yeah.
put the screen onto your PSP while someone else is watching TV.
Yeah.
I think have Xbox done something similar?
Yeah, streaming to Windows 10. That's the Xbox equivalent.
Ah,
Any Windows 10 device you can stream to it.
really?
Why you'd want to do it to a Windows 10 phone, I don't know, but
Can you
allegedly
plug
that.
Can you plug an Xbox One controller to a Windows 10 phone?
Well, you could pair it with
Bluetooth.
Bluetooth.
Oh, no way! That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, because in exactly the same way, that's what I do with my PlayStation and my phone. Is I pair my PlayStation controller with my phone, and I've got a little game mount that's got essentially a little sucker on the back of it that you stick your phone onto, and then you clip it around your controller,
Oh, I did not know this.
and then I remote
Wow.
play from my PS4 onto my phone.
I did not know this. Wow. That's cool.
That's
I like
Yeah.
that.
amazing.
It's pretty awesome.
Wow. I like that. Cool.
Is that only because you've got a PlayStation phone?
Yeah, it's because I've got a Sony phone. Yeah.
Ubisoft.
Yes.
Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands. Now, I kind of got something to say on this because I've been bashing away at The Division. And you see, I kind of want Ghost Recon to save the Tom Clancy line on this one, because right now I think Ubisoft are getting a very tough time. They've lost a truly staggering number of players within the first 3 months of what is essentially one of Ubisoft's biggest AAA titles of last year and this year, along with Rainbow Six Siege, because they have been plagued with hackers. I mean, whatever problems I have with the game itself, that's standalone. I mean, I can't speak for Rainbow Six Siege because that could be actually not too bad. But the biggest problem they've had is the hackers. They've completely ruined the game, and players are actually migrating away from the game entirely. There's some. I picked up the stats from Steam charts, and as far as Steam's concerned, I can't speak for the Xbox or the PlayStation 4 stuff, but yeah, they actually forecasted that June they had slightly more than 16,000 players, while the high point was in March, and they had 114,000 players. And that's 3 months, and they've just lost it. And this is with DLC coming out regularly. They've had the second incursion, they've got the DLC coming up, and they've got the whole year planned ahead coming up, and it's full. They've got a full criteria.
And the Underground DLC looks amazing, because I've been playing a lot of The Division on the Xbox One, so I haven't had any of the problems with the hackers. And I'm loving the Division, great fun. But I don't do much of the PvP side, so just the new high value targets make it worthwhile doing all the PvE again. And what they've got planned for Underground sounds amazing. Basically making it more against the environment, kind of almost like a Diablo 3 mechanic, where you can create your own multi-level dungeons. They've got enough procedural parts that they'll stick it together, so every mission will be different, and then they'll have sort of different types, so you can keep replaying these dungeons, and you can set different difficulties, and it'll drop different loot depending on how you set it all up. So it sounds like they've aimed at a lot of replayability in this big chunk of content coming in.
That's still just assuming that the players come back.
Yeah, it sounds like
hackers are
it'd
still
certainly
there.
be worth coming back and giving it a try. I mean, they are saying they are going to insta-ban any cheating from now on, but whether it's too little, too late, we'll have to wait and see.
It's got to be doing good on consoles, like, or good enough if they're making an expansion at this point, because they would have been monitoring those numbers.
It was already made.
There's
yeah, true. It's probably
it's
made
part
a
of
year
the-
ago.
It's been in the. It's been done.
It's
DLC.
been part of the
For ages.
season pass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean that it makes an interesting argument for, you know, the way that consoles restrict editing. What they've been trying to do with, you know, Windows 10, dare I say it? No, not Windows 10, Windows 8. Was it 8 that they were doing really, really dodgy stuff? But yeah,
I can't remember. I skipped 8.
yeah, it wasn't very good.
So, South Park, The Fractured Butthole.
Awesome. I love South Park, so
If it's
Yeah.
anything like the first game,
it'll
Um,
be just a great laugh.
Made by a
yeah.
different company, by the way.
yeah, the first one was a perfect continuation to the Black Friday trilogy episodes. And it felt like you were watching an episode of South Park that you were actually playing.
Yeah.
So
Awesome fun.
it was kind of the perfect South Park game.
Amazingly well done, wasn't it?
So
I
this
still
one,
haven't finished it.
this one looks like it's going to be very much in a similar sort of vein, but with a superhero theme.
Rather than Lord of the Rings.
So I think I'm pretty sure there are going to be, or if not, they already exist, episodes which will tie into it.
Yeah, and I think I would enjoy this more than the Stick of the Truth. Is it Stick of? I can't remember.
The Stick
Yeah,
of Truth.
Stick of Truth.
Yeah, I think more because of I really like the Obsidian one, the previous one, and I love the company that made it. Actually, I love Obsidian; they're one of my favorite developers. But I think what I like about this is it's more a context I'm a bit more interested in.
Yeah, it's a different theme. So
yeah.
I'll be interested to see what they do with the combat mechanic, because they can play with it any way they want now. That would be lovely.
They've shown that actually. Isn't it like Final Fantasy Tactics or something? You know, like or Fallout.
Oh, like an
Tactics.
isometric squad base.
Yeah, I
Oh.
think.
Really?
Ooh,
I think it is.
tasty.
Oh.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Well, that
okay.
sounds interesting.
That'll do me just nicely.
It's well, you have like squares on the floor, I think, and you can move to the different squares, and
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
sounds like it. Oh, wicked fun.
so it is
Yeah.
quite different actually. They have changed it up.
I'm totally game for that.
Yeah.
Yes, please bring it on. Here's my money.
take my money.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Ubisoft are also behind Star Trek Bridge Crew, the VR.
Looks
I would
really
love
cool.
to. I would love to. I don't have VR.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
In
It
the
looks
meantime-
brilliant.
In the
Looks
meantime,
awesome
I'm up for
fun.
a game of Artemis Starship Bridge Crew, and that'll do.
Did you see what because they did it with the
Geordie
guys-
LaForge, 7 of 9, and Carl Urban.
There you go. And who was the guy that was absolutely loving it? He was seriously loved it.
I'm pretty sure that was LeVar Burton.
Yes.
Yeah, he
Oh,
was
he was-
very, very happy about it.
He was
He
so
said
hyped.
it's what Star Trek fans, the game that fans have been waiting for, basically.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm massively looking forward to it as someone who spent well over 300 hours playing Star Trek Online.
Wow.
Years. I keep on thinking about doing that one, and
It's going to be a team-based game,
Oh, brilliant.
and everyone's going to be responsible for
Their
the role that they
station.
play. So if you're
Oh,
the
nice.
engineering, you're in charge of engineering. If you're tactical, you'll be the person who has to fire.
Is it online or is it couch? It looked like couch co-op from what I saw.
They had it set up for a couch co-op, but it was in the studio, so they could have had machines off-site, or off camera. for aesthetic reasons.
Yeah, I would assume that it has the possibility to play it networked rather than couch co-op, because otherwise it requires you to have like 3
A lot,
VR
yeah.
rigs in your room.
Yeah.
So it will be a multiplayer online event.
I mean, it should be an interesting. It should be an interesting time for Star Trek because they're going to be doing a new series, aren't they? And all
Yep,
sorts.
coming out next year. Yep,
Yeah.
Wow.
with Brian Fuller at the helm.
Ah.
When's it set in the universe timeline? Or is
I
it a
believe
reboot?
it's not a reboot. No, I believe it's set kind of. I'm not sure, but I know it's happening in the original continuities. As much as I know, it's not. It's not the film continuity.
Right. But will it be pre-Enterprise, post-Voyager, somewhere in between? Any
I don't know if
idea?
It's been said.
No, I don't think there's been any details about that yet.
I can imagine them keeping quite tight-lipped and start that rumour mill going.
Yeah.
Ideally,
Yeah.
ideally it'd be at the end, post Voyager, because then they can just write new stuff.
That
They
would
don't
be
have
nice.
to worry about overlapping different storylines that shouldn't be overlapping.
I'm going to hope they're going to move the story on maybe another 100 years or so.
Possibly,
Give
but I
them
mean,
another technological singularity. Let's see how the future really likes to pan out. Yes, please.
I'm not sure how much you guys know about Brian Fuller, but he was originally a writer on Voyager and DS9, and he did a whole bunch of other shows. He was involved with Pushing Daisies and a whole bunch of things like that.
Ooh.
So it's that guy. I'm massively looking forward to him doing this.
Yeah, that'll be awesome.
Oh, he did. He was on Heroes as well.
Yes,
and
he was. Yeah, Brian
Hannibal.
Fuller was. Yeah, to do with Heroes. Yeah, the good season of Heroes.
Yeah. Oh, what was he only on the first one?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
God.
There was only one good season of Heroes.
Yeah.
The
Save
one
the
they called
cheerleader,
the
save the
Swiss.
world.
So
But-
next up we've got.
Sorry, just to say quickly on the Brian Fuller thing, he's also showrunner on American Gods, so he's currently involved in 2 of my
Good book, actually.
big highlight projects that are going on for TV. So
Yeah.
my hopes are resting on the man.
Hopes, dreams.
You know when American Gods is due out?
2017 at some point.
Yeah.
Same
Right.
as Star Trek.
So next up we've got For Honor, a hack and slash game by the looks of it. You play as a knight, a samurai, or a Viking.
Did anyone see this?
I
I
had
have, yes.
oh. The FMV, I saw the trailer. It looks loads of exciting, big melee combats, awesome fun. I watched a bit of the gameplay, and it looks like you wade through rank and loads of bots and stuff until you eventually come across another player, and then it's this quite technical combat you've got to do, where you're kind of reacting to each other. So apparently the combat's going to be really in depth.
Yeah, I didn't really. I was really unimpressed by it personally. I don't know. It just felt like. I don't know. It just I didn't like the look of the combat. It looked interesting. It looked like something that they'd kind of done. They've come up with a new idea, but
Experimental.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had the sneaking suspicion there was a hint of MOBA and esport in it.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, there are various different channels you can go through.
Yeah.
You get to the far end. You're going to be bumping into bots, and then you're going to hit the bigger players, which
Was it
provide the actual
multiplayer?
challenge.
Yeah, big
Yeah,
multiplayer.
yes.
You just
No, when I
go
saw
in
the-
and fight against like other players and stuff.
No, because when I saw the trailer, I thought it was all single player.
No,
Maybe I
No,
was
no,
off my
it's-
rocker.
it's-
No way. I see.
It's basically like team deathmatch, but with 3 teams.
yeah,
That's the vibe I was getting. I couldn't really see any way, given the way the game seemed to play, I couldn't see any other kind of game type. So it was sort of like, that
Yeah.
might be fun for a few hours, but after that, I'm going to.
I wondered about the longevity of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be looking at that one at full price anytime soon.
No, I
No.
didn't really. It looks like a game that would be fun, but not really like to spend 50 quid
Not
on.
gripping.
Yeah. I think that's going to be tailored to a very particular type of gamer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe the League of Legends type.
But that doesn't appeal to me, and I was a League player for quite a while.
All right.
I don't know.
Glad you got over it, by the way. Congratulations.
I think there's only so much abuse you can actually take in a game.
From 11-year-olds. Yep.
After 4 years.
That's the limit. 4 years.
Watch Dogs 2.
I'm a little confused by Watch Dogs 2 because they've got
Really?
they've got an
Yeah.
all new character. I thought Watch Dogs 2 would be a sequel to the first one, which it clearly
Yeah.
is, but I thought it was going to have the same main character.
Yeah.
It was kind of
It's-
the way it was almost implied at the end of the first game.
It's because everyone hated the main character, apparently. I
So
think that's...
Actually, I can totally dig that because I didn't play it for long, and I absolutely loathed the guy I was playing. I thought, oh, what a complete tosser! I gave up within the first, not long.
I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a great game, but it was involving hacking. It was essentially GTA with hacking.
Exactly. I really
Which is great
enjoyed
for
it.
me.
Or
I liked the little there were little extra games with it. So the Android mobile game that pitted
Yeah.
you against people in the real game. So you were firing off all the kind of traffic control systems, try and stop the hackers, and they were trying to drive around them in the game. And I thought that was a brilliant dynamic.
Yeah.
the games within the game were also really good.
Yeah.
Spider Tank, that should be a
Yeah.
game in its own right.
Oh yeah.
That was a brilliant game.
Thoroughly enjoyed that.
Put that mechanic into a game like Assassin's Creed or something like that, where you can jump in and out of the thing, and yeah, I'm well happy with that.
Absolutely. So yeah, I mean, Watch Dogs 2, bring it on. I will play it because I loved the first one.
Yeah, it looks awesome. And now it looks like as you're wandering around your world, you just bump into other players that are bimbling around, and you can decide to co-op or carry on single player
That's pretty
on the
interesting.
playthrough I watched. So that sounds awesome fun.
I mean, I loved it being the recreation of Boston because I went to Boston a few years ago and I just found myself wandering around trying to find the same thing. I think I literally posted a picture of the massive shiny thing. So it's the giant coffee bean shiny thing that they've got in the middle of middle of Chicago. Sorry, Boston, Chicago. The big shiny thing that they've got there, just like the Millennium Arch or something.
Yeah.
Oh right.
I mean, I
Stand
think
under
it
and it's
looks...
reflective. It's great.
I think it looks like a lot of fun. I mean, I think the reason they've announced it so late in the day, because I think it's coming out this year, isn't it? Maybe in October.
Yeah.
It's for this Christmas season.
I think they've done this because I think they really wanted to have a lot to show. Because I think a lot of people were disappointed with Watch Dogs 1. Maybe
Yeah.
not because the game was bad, but more because I think they were.
They'd expected more.
When they were told it was a hacking game, they expected more
But it's also the graphics.
more intricacy to the hacking.
Yeah.
Not just press this button to.
Yeah, it
Pick that
was
guy's
just a
pocket.
case of you press this button and it's done, rather than involving any kind of skill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing as well was that the trailers and that kind of thing, it was all done in a bit of a dodgy way where they showed a really amazing looking Watch Dogs, and which everyone expected. It still looked absolutely brilliant, but there was a lot of controversy over the fact that the original the game didn't look like it had been shown at E3, and actually they'd what did they do? I think when it came out on PC, someone actually managed to unlock the graphics that were originally shown. So they had sort of, especially with PC, they'd locked that off.
Right. So they had some kind of special rendered mode.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fair enough.
The next game I have to admit I've got a guilty pleasure for these kind of games.
Same.
Steep. Yeah,
Looks so
I
cool.
like the look of that. That could be a
Has
lot
anyone
of
else
fun.
seen it?
I
Yeah.
missed
Yeah.
Steep. So what was that about?
You go, Ferg.
High velocity downhill all the way. I think it's basically a skiing kind of game.
Skiing, snowboarding, and some.
Yeah.
What they call them? The things where you jump off a cliff.
Wingsuits.
Wingsuit.
Yeah, using
Wow.
wingsuits and then being able to drop straight into a snowboard down like pristine snow. And we're talking, it's first person is the part I saw, but it's like.
It's first-person
Ooh.
high adrenaline for people who can't be asked getting up and doing it themselves.
Yeah, exactly. Wants to break their legs doing something only a true athlete can pull off. But so, yeah, congratulations, you've tapped a market. Everybody's going to be interested in.
I think the really
I know
cool thing
I am.
as well is it's based on all these mountains, isn't it? And you can actually, I think it's pretty realistic to what they're actually like, and you can actually. Look at the last sort of couple of minutes of playing and set people to do challenges of like a little route you've done or do things that you've just done, and you can record stuff and watch other people and what they've just done and all this kind of stuff. There's quite it's like GTA almost online with this kind of.
But in the case of Steve, this is one of those titles I would very much like to see in VR.
Yes.
You know, it's a game I would probably go, right, okay, if I was going to buy it, if I suddenly found myself with the money to do it, and I think for something like the Oculus Rift, it's asking for a minimum of an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 970 card. So that's your minimum spec for the PC kind of area. The Vive is probably going to be very similar, though more expensive if memory is correct. But this is the kind of game I'd actually go, right, if I've got the money for it, that's the kind of game I would want with that. You know, if they were like packaged together, that would be a definite, okay, you're selling this to me very nicely. Yeah, the adrenaline would be lovely.
I think it'd be a lot of fun to play with friends. I mean, I don't know what the longevity of it would be, but it does.
It'll appeal to the extreme sports market.
Yeah.
I don't know how you're going to do a wingsuit, though. I mean, the skiing part I can get, you know, kind of like jostling your hips around and using your arms for the sticks.
Part flight sim, isn't it?
I don't know. Do you have to lie on the sofa or something? Just spread your arms out on the sofa, balance very precariously over the back.
You could do that if you want. I doubt it'd have much impact on the game.
Oh.
Would it just be a headset and a controller?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That just ruins it for me.
We're not talking full immersion here.
Yeah, that's what I want. That's what I'm paying for, yeah.
If you want that, then I can throw you off the top of a building and you can experience it.
Fair enough. Wait, what?
Right, next up, Square Enix.
Oh, right, okay. Did anyone watch this, or is it just me?
I think it was just you.
I think it was you.
Okay, I can try
there was far too much Final Fantasy for my liking.
It was wonderful.
The only thing I was interested in, I think, was the Deus Ex stuff.
Okay, so you've seen that.
I caught a couple of bits, and that was about it. I'm not spoiling this one.
Give us a run through, sir.
It's an expansion on the main game. They're only showing us so much because it's clearly going to be very story involved. Oh Christ, where would you even begin? Okay, it looks fantastic again. There's no two ways about it. It looks like it's going to move beautifully. Definitely high-end machines are going to really get a lot out of this game. Then combat is kind of the real focus I think I've picked up from this. The number of weapons, the way you can engage in the combatants. Yes, you can still knock people out. For what good that's going to do you in the end. Yeah, you're looking at all of the usual things, the Typhoon, stealth there. I think they've somewhat reworked the stamina system, which is a bonus for me. I'd be quite happy to see maybe a level of stamina regeneration. Because if they're going to speed up the gameplay, I'm kind of hoping that you're going to have a more ready supply of abilities. But other than that, yes, it does look. It still looks awfully tasty.
I mean, it's got the basic premise of it is, I think, that it's called Mankind Divided, and basically, I think all the kind of cybernetic people are actually seen as the kind of the enemy by the human part of society. And are they sort of kind of enslaved? That was the impression I got.
It's going to be more complicated than that. I suspect it's going to be part of the main story arc that, wisely, I believe they're going to be telling us anything more about. I think that's going to be down to truly just playing through the game and getting it. I think they're aiming towards the classic Deus Ex player base, because they kind of did a good job with the first game, but they didn't really expand on the secret history of the world like they did with the original. So this one, I think they're going to be going a little bit more in depth, blowing open a bit of the conspiracy and going forth. But what they're going to do with that conspiracy is anybody's guess. Yeah. I don't want to even speculate if the characters like Bob Page are going to turn up. I'm kind of hoping they will, but if they do, yeah. Again, it's story, it's spoilers, I don't know.
Cool. I mean, I could do a quick bash through the Final Fantasy stuff. I won't take too long on it. Final Fantasy VII Remake, nothing's happening. The remaster of Final Fantasy XII. Which some people may be excited about. I don't know how excited I am. I'm not sure. It wasn't my favourite game, but I don't know.
More excited for FF7, definitely.
Yeah. Kingdom Hearts HD 2.8 final chapter prologue, whatever that means. It's another Kingdom Hearts game that's, I think a lot of people waiting for Kingdom Hearts 3. Can't say it's a game that I've followed much. It always confused me, this idea of playing, a character that has in a world with Disney characters and Final Fantasy characters. It's very confusing.
Bit weird.
But it's very popular. I Am Setsuna is kind of a very classic, in the style of Final Fantasy VI, sort of RPG with active, what do you call them? Active time battles?
Right,
like, that style of play. Looks fun for old school RPG, like JRPG players like me. I think it'll be fun, but yeah, that's what it is. So Final Fantasy 15 didn't get loads of particular news because it's coming out in September, and they had a big Final Fantasy 15 Uncovered event a while ago. Main news was 40 to 50 hours long. Basically, the game will be 100 or 200 if you do everything in it. Your car flies. People got pretty hyped about that. I don't know really. They've talked about a game mechanic called wait mode, where you can it sort of pauses the game and lets you decide on what you're going to do next in combat wise.
Oh right.
And it has a sort of timer, but a lot of the community, there's a bit of a fallout in the community and people calling each other noobs because they'd use it. I suppose the controversy is the fact that because Final Fantasy games are known for having like really difficult bosses, it will sort of make it less impactful if you've defeated it and you've sort of...
Wait mode.
Yeah, but not really a big issue. It means that a lot of people maybe access the game that couldn't, to be honest.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm just rushing through these. World of Final Fantasy actually looks quite good, but it's a bit like Kingdom Hearts in a sense. It's really weird. They've got like, the classic chibi anime characters.
Yeah.
Well, the game's got like all the characters are like that, apart from the two main protagonists who can turn into a chibi character. Well, they're themselves, but chibi. And basically, they can stack 3 Final Fantasy type creatures and items on their head.
Okay.
In chibi form. I know that sounds weird and doesn't make sense, but that is apparently what you can do. It seems like, from what I've heard, it's got a very dark story. So despite it being quite a cute little game, it's quite dark, and it's again like Kingdom Hearts. It pulls in all of different Final Fantasy characters from different games which again is very odd. But you know, I think you can team up with them, and I don't know. It's more interesting than I originally thought. When I've seen trailers for it before, I thought this looks like something I am not going to buy, but I might get it. But again, it's coming out the month after. I think it's coming out in October, straight after Final Fantasy 15. So I don't know really if that's a great business decision on their part, but
You know what it's coming out on?
PlayStation.
Just PlayStation.
Yeah, I think. Pretty sure.
Yeah, I think it is a PlayStation title.
Double
EA.
check.
Yes.
The EA conference.
Ah, yes.
So we've got Mass Effect Andromeda. It looks like it's going to be interesting, but they've not really said a lot about it.
Nice.
I'm still very far behind on Mass Effect.
Really?
Yes, I need to get caught up.
What have you played?
Part of Mass Effect 1, and I was enjoying it, but it was getting to go and do this over there and talk to this person here, and apparently not long after that it would have got more interesting. But
The second one's better than the first by quite a long way, in my opinion. It gets a lot darker and
yeah, other things came across my Xbox, and I ended up with a lot of other games on the go at the same time.
yeah, I definitely recommend them really. But yeah, I mean, I think it looks quite good, but a lot wasn't released. I don't know if anyone else has any interest in Mass Effect. Nope.
Not
I
really.
probably would be if I was caught up on the story.
Wow.
I didn't get to the end of 3. Couldn't be bothered.
I literally haven't played any of them.
Oh really?
I'm
Mass
like
Effect
Ted,
1
I've only
was-
played part of 1.
I liked
Wow.
1. I liked the first one, and I think that's pretty much where it all ended there. Second one disappointed me. Third one was just like, don't even bother me anymore.
Really?
I was so disenfranchised by it so very, very quickly with the second game. I just thought, no, this is
You didn't like the second
stupefied
game?
it. Nope, no.
Why?
I thought the writing was sloppy. I thought they kind of gave up halfway through, and the gameplay was just meh. That was it for me.
No way, God.
Yeah.
I totally disagree on this one.
Yeah.
I
Great
like
fight.
it too, actually. Yeah.
I loved the first one. The first one was also because it had the whole kind of science fiction element to it. The second one just played like a third-person shooter that happened to be with ray guns.
Yeah.
I kind of
I can
really
see,
lost
I can
the
see
feel.
why you didn't like that. I can understand
Yeah.
that. I mean, you didn't like the story though?
Yeah, I thought it was just a dirty dozen in space.
Yeah.
There you go. Done. You might lose somebody. Good luck with that. You know,
Isn't the
even
last
if you get 'em
Starfighter exactly the same?
on. So yeah, unfortunately, it was just the story killed it for me. That was it.
Wow. I quite like this. I felt the story was like more. I mean, it wasn't anything like it, but it was of an Empire Strikes Back style, and I quite liked the fact it was dark and kind of. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I got round to giving the third one a blast. I have no idea why I was doing it, and they got round to killing off more than Solus and I sod it. This is shite. And I just turned it off, and I played some of the multiplayer, and that was it. Actually, that was it. The only reason why I got that game in the end was solely because a lot of the people that I was playing online with on Xbox 360 at the time were playing it because everybody was. So all right, I managed to get a cheap copy, and that was it. And I spent more time on the multiplayer because other people were doing it. That was it. And I have to admit, it really wasn't fulfilling any way. The conversation was why I was there. That was it.
No way. Well, I mean, I'd recommend people to try it at least. I don't know, but yeah, I had a very different take from it, to be honest. Mass Effect. I mean, the last one has a lot of controversy about it, but I don't know. I thought they were alright.
You don't sell that many copies, and you know it can't be that unpopular. I'm just really one of those people who was probably analysing it a little more critically than the average gamer might.
Well, I suppose BioWare, I think you're right, BioWare have gone from doing stuff like Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 to creating a very mainstream product with a very specific way of telling story that has, you know, in all fairness, become pretty repetitive. I mean, they created the the character wheel for story in Mass Effect 1, and it's still being used in Mass Effect 3 and Dragon Age Inquisition. So they haven't done anything particularly innovative. Anyway, should we move on?
Yeah.
Yes.
Moving on.
Sorry.
Titanfall 2.
Any thoughts?
It's got a story this time, which will make an improvement because the story was loosely tied into the multiplayer, and you didn't get much story for what you were playing.
Yeah.
And it was very repetitive. You get effectively the same missions over and over again. Kill the bad guys, get to the chopper, get away. Basically it.
Rinse,
But it's-
repeat.
It's crossing the platform. It's going on to PlayStation as well.
Ah, is it?
So I'm led to believe.
Did try Titanfall on a friend's Xbox One. It seemed alright. You like that kind of thing? I don't know. I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm
I
particularly
wasn't
hyped.
gripped by the first one.
It was fun, but it didn't last very long. But maybe
I got
with
nothing from it.
the story mode, it will improve it. I like the mechanics behind the mechs and the effectively the tank. The way you can
Yeah.
make them follow you or go off and do something else. That was I quite enjoyed the sort of Master Blaster mechanics behind it.
I think it's something they could do a lot with. Like,
I-
I felt combat-wise it was really, really good, I suppose, but
Yeah.
I suppose it depends what you want out of a game as well. I really like story a lot of the time, so maybe with a single player it would be...
Yeah, with a single player campaign, maybe a co-op campaign. I can see
It'd
it
be
being
ace. That'd
brilliant.
be good fun.
But that's what it was lacking in the first Titanfall was, okay, it was co-op because it was a team-based game, but there was too much being up against the opposing team all the time.
Yeah.
I guess that's kind of the same thing as the next game, is Star Wars Battlefront 2. Is that going to have a single player mode?
I'm not entirely sure. I quite enjoyed the fighter squadron on the first Battlefront.
Yeah, I was massively looking forward to the first game, and then in the end I didn't bother because what they released just didn't look like it was going to meet up with my expectations at all.
You
Yeah.
play the beta as well?
No.
I did. Same thing as you.
Yeah.
It wasn't. I played the beta and I was like, yeah, this is kind of fun, but I don't understand why I can't find an X-wing and climb in it. Why do I have to pick up a token to do it? And
Yeah.
for a company that are renowned for making Battlefield games where you go and find a vehicle, I don't understand why this was so hard. It's because it's been rushed.
Yeah, I think so, and that was the feeling that I got, and they hadn't really released that much content for it, and it seemed
Yeah.
like they were just going to go down the route of charging through the nose for extra content in the future,
What
and
they
so
do.
I just kind of didn't bother. Because I mean, I loved the original Battlefront games on the PlayStation, and I would on PS2, and I would still regularly play the crap out of them because they're fantastic.
Yeah.
Mm.
But I was just very disappointed with Star Wars Battlefront, and thus I'm dubious about this one.
Yeah.
And I mean, when's the release date for it? Because I mean, are they, you know,
Does
are
that
they...
mean
I
they're
don't know.
done with Battlefront?
I was going to say it can't be any time soon because Battlefront only came out
I bet you it
end
comes
tail
out
end
next
of last
year.
year.
Still at least 2 DLC packs to drop on it at the moment.
Right. Wow.
So I'd say it's got to be at least another 2 years before we see Battlefront 2.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was soon.
If
I
anything,
wouldn't be
Christmas
surprised, but
2017.
my expectation would
Is
be
it-
that they shouldn't.
Did you
Yeah.
say Christmas 2017 then?
I would probably say looking somewhere near Christmas 2017.
Yeah, because that's when Star Wars 8's out.
It'd make
Oh,
sense.
I think it's expected next year.
Next year is 2017.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I think
It's,
I think it's the sad thing with DICE as a company. I loved a lot of their games, and I thought they might do a good job with Battlefront, but they're forced to. Well, they're either forced or they do it themselves. But this kind of piecemeal DLC thing where you pay 50 quid for a game with 4 maps and then have to pay another 20 quid every 3 months to just try and get a couple of maps or something on top just seems a bit
Yeah, it's a bit
like,
much.
yeah, it's a bit much for one game.
hilarious because you've just outlined their entire plan for Battlefield 1, I suspect.
Oh, I have, and
Yeah.
you know, and the awful thing is, you know, it's like this situation. If they release Battlefront 2 in December next year, you've then invested probably what 150 quid or something into this game or more, and then it's you know they're going to release the next one. So
That's
then you
why
get
I
all
was
of
so
that.
knocked when they did that
Yeah.
with Disney Infinity 2, because I spent a load of money on Disney Infinity 2 on all the Marvel stuff, and then 6 months later they released the Star Wars Disney Infinity 3, which was incompatible. I was like, oh, cheers then.
Yeah. I don't know. EA in particular,
They didn't win the Golden Poo Award 2 years in a row
for nothing.
but for no
Yeah.
reason whatsoever. These guys have a history. We know it. We haven't got very high expectations across the board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These guys have a lot of trust in the market. They need to get more trust out of the market. They need to show some goodwilling. They need to show that they actually give a damn. And to be honest, even now, even with all the titles we've just spoken about, I'm not feeling it yet.
No.
Just not seeing it coming out there. And that, I'm sorry to say that I don't see it happening in either of the other two Star Wars games that we're going to cover as well.
No.
No. I don't.
I think there's probably, at the moment, I think there's just a big rush to get Star Wars licensed products out there because it's just massive in the media at the moment.
Yeah.
And it seems like really bad foresight on their plan. They knew that The Force Awakens has been out for yonks, and yet we haven't had a real computer game then.
Yeah.
You'd think they would try and capitalize on an epic moment like that, as opposed to, well, maybe we can get it close to the next film. What? Come on.
Yeah.
Please. You know, what are you doing?
So,
Yeah.
Other announcements, the honourable mention section. Big
I mean, there was
Lego.
Battlefield
Oh,
1 as well. I should probably
actually,
just quickly
sorry.
mention that.
Actually, sorry, before we leave EA, I've got one thing I just want to throw in there because we haven't got it on there. Sorry. EA original title, Fee, F-E. I'm not sure how it's done. That, of all of the stuff that's come out of EA, a small company called Zoink, bang. Just, they've turned up out of nowhere. It's an interesting little game, kind of like Spyro, maybe, with bird calls. And yeah, check that one out. I'm actually kind of thinking, okay, I know it's got the EA tag on it, but let's see what this little company out of nowhere did.
Got a very Zelda Twilight Princess vibe to it.
Yeah, kinda. And that kind of thing usually turns me very swiftly in the opposite direction. Sorry, carry on. I just thought that one was worth a mention.
Yeah. So yeah, the other announcements. Big Lego Dimensions announcement. New story packs coming, which are going to be a pack above the size of the level packs.
Oh, right.
They are going to be 6-level stories covering the relevant franchise. The first one's going to be the reboot of Ghostbusters, so you get to play through the whole Ghostbusters film, apparently. You also get a new topper for the portal, along with a character in a vehicle. And I believe the second title is going to be the Harry Potter spin-off.
The Fantastic Beasts.
Yeah.
Right.
They've got 16 new franchises altogether.
Thanks, Lego. I'm currently harvesting my remaining organs to pay for all of this.
Yeah.
There are a lot of really interesting ones.
I swear they've tapped into my daughter's brain for what sets they're next going to release, just to punish me.
It's the list is huge. Adventure Time, The A-Team, Beetlejuice, E.T. for your Spielberg fans. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, Ghostbusters 2016, The Goonies, which I'm quite looking forward
That's
to.
amazing.
Gremlins, another one I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
Harry Potter, the Lego Batman movie, so an entire Will Arnett section.
Yeah.
Lego City Undercover, which is up until now mainly been, well, it's only been a Nintendo product.
Oh, yeah.
Either the 3DS prequel or Lego City Undercover, the main game on the Wii U. So that's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Knight Rider, the Powerpuff Girls, which is branching off into Cartoon
Awesome.
Network, Teen Titans Go, Sonic the Hedgehog, and Mission Impossible, which I'm quite amused by, because it's a little Lego Tom
Tom
Cruise.
Cruise.
Will it explode like the one on Preacher?
Oh, I hope so.
Yes.
That was awesome.
I'm not sure. It may be 1-to-1 scale.
Get out the mop and bucket.
So, next up was
Ukulele.
yes, Ukulele, the Kickstarter that keeps on giving.
Yeah, my God, did anyone see them at E3?
Nope.
Or not?
I'd seen
no.
the trailer prior.
I've just seen a trailer.
It's literally a clone of Banjo-Kazooie, which I am perfectly happy with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the spiritual spiritual successor to.
They've even got the dialogue where characters. Yeah, they've actually got that in, and it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
So,
God.
It's just
It's a
Banjo
really
Kazooie with different animals, a bat and a
How's that
lizard.
go again?
ukulele.
Okay.
It's literally a carbon copy of Banjo-Kazooie. I am
Everything you
so
could want
happy.
from
Everything.
Okay.
It's one of the most successful Kickstarters I've seen in a long time.
Yeah,
Um, They-
platform as well.
yes, it's coming out across everything they can squeeze it onto, I think.
So I think that's that, isn't it?
Yeah, the other one was the Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah.
Again,
H.P.
when that
Lovecraft.
lands, I will play the shit out of, because as Cyberpunk is my favourite RPG of all time, Cthulhu is my second.
Yeah. Love Cthulhu. So that I definitely want to play.
Was there much on it, or was it just sort
A
of
very creepy trailer is what I saw,
Yeah, it's
Nice.
one to play at night with the lights off.
with a full surround sound system.
Hell yeah.
It reminded me a lot of the previous Cthulhu game, actually. What
Yeah.
I'd seen. Yeah.
It will be odd, it will be full of madness and screaming, and yeah, it's going to be great.
Excellent.
So I suppose, just to kind of wrap it up, what's everyone's top game that they're looking forward to?
For me, it's pretty much Dimensions and Cthulhu. Anything else Lego that comes out. I'm sure I'll dabble into some of the other lists, but those are the ones that are standing out most at the moment.
I think I'm falling somewhere between the Quantic Dreams Detroit and the Cthulhu one. And a bit of Dogs too.
I'm just spoilt for choice. There's so many that I thought were awesome, and I really desperately now want a Wii U for the Zelda game. That
Oh, yeah.
looks awesome fun. So that or Detroit, I'd say were the highlights for me.
I kind of like. I have to admit, I'm really looking forward towards Deus Ex. But the other one I think really kind of piqued my interest was probably Mafia 3.
Oh, we didn't mention that.
Oh, we've not mentioned that at all.
That's-
We've completely missed that.
We missed that. It looks
Sorry,
really good.
I just wanted to just drop that one in there.
Well played.
Wow, I saw the gameplay on that and I was like going, all right, you've got me. I'm interested. Let's go.
Yeah, because you hadn't seen it before. Because I think I mentioned it the last podcast about something I was looking forward to, and it does look really good. doesn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, I've now watched the gameplay and I'm actually really grateful for you pointing out because that looks
Ferg.
like an absolute wicked game.
Get it downloaded on Steam. The second one, it looks beautiful. It'll give you an idea of it, and it's probably quite cheap, and it's good. I enjoyed it.
I've got the Technomancer turning up on the 29th of June.
Same.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get round to doing it. It's. I've got a little bit of a. I've got a bag of games I need to get on top of now.
So, I suppose for me it would be probably Kalele, Final Fantasy 15,
Yeah.
and there's a Mass Effect, but I mean that's not coming out for ages. Yeah.
Yeah.
So is that everything?
I think that's
Excellent.
pretty much it.
I like it.
Oh, Sai! We forgot Sai. Sai,
Yeah.
what are you going for?
No, I've already said mine. I said,
Oh, did
you?
yeah.
Yeah, Cthulhu.
Right.
And Detroit.
Mm.
Excellent.
And the side order of Watch Dogs 2.
Yes, I'd order definitely.
Groovy.
Excellent. So, is that everything? Is there anything else anyone wants to comment on? Or
I think that's it.
I think
good.
that's all. And
excellent.
everyone's probably sick of our voices by now because
Yeah.
this has been quite
It's a
long
bumper
episode. Yeah, but
Yeah.
special E3 edition. Ooh.
Yeah.
I think we've kept it fairly short, considering though
Yeah,
the amount. I think we've done pretty well.
I think it's been important to remember that this is just the beginning of the hype mill. There's a lot of promises
Yeah.
being made here, and I'm expecting a lot of promises to get
Well, this
broken.
is essentially the roadmap of what we're going to be talking about on this show for the next year, 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
Remember
is
that
what's
game that
coming.
we said, "Ooh, looks really good." It was
Yeah,
pants.
no, it fell over.
Yeah.
Got lost completely.
I'm
It's
so
terrible.
irritated. The mechanic was poo.
Cool.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Right then.
Alright.
Thanks for watching, listening, even.
Yeah, and we'll catch you in a bit. And again, cheers for coming on, Spindles. And
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
I'm going to go and
Cheers.
disappear back into
Cheers, dude.
Skyrim.
Oh.
Excellent. Have fun.
Watch
one
out for
last
the
thing
arrows.
as well. I don't think we've mentioned that Ferg is becoming a regular.
Woohoo!
So he will
Oh,
be
yes.
about.
A regular.
You're keeping Ferg regular.
We
Yeah.
are.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes.
Get in. I needed help with that.
No, just one look at my face sorts it right out.
Take your word
Right.
for that. Anyways, yes.
That
Moving
was way
swiftly
too
on.
self-deprecating, man.
And on that note,
And on that note, yeah.
Right, catch you in a bit.
thanks for
Okay,
listening.
take it easy.
Take care.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.